Good morning, Facebook. It's 10 o'clock. It's Thursday, and good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
And this is Blowing for Britain, episode 216, and I've got noises everywhere, but I do also have John is joining us.
Right.
Hello.
John.
Good morning.
Morning.
That's fine. He's great. Yeah. Good morning, John.
Us?
Yeah.
I can hear you too, yeah. I'm not quite sure
okay.
why I'm so fuzzy.
Yeah.
You want to refresh?
Yeah, I'm going to come in again.
Okay. Right, well, whilst John's on his way back in, let's get hold of the agenda. And welcome to the show. And this is Blowing for Britain, episode 216. Right, John's on his way back. That'd be good. He's wiping his camera, but I don't know.
I'm still all fuzzy. I know what. Don't take me off. I'll be less than 2 seconds.
Okay, let's. Yes. Okay.
Right, okay, fine. Okay. If he knows what. There's no lights on.
Oh, no lights on. That's better.
Didn't make much difference, to be honest.
Right.
It's dark where you are?
It's overcast, shall we say, but the blind is closed, so that's probably why it's pretty dark.
I think it would be good to actually start this week's show by celebrating events of this week. I'm going to keep quiet and say congratulations, John, and congratulations, Peter. Do you have a story to tell?
You want me to go first, Peter? Well, my first grandchild arrived this week on Tuesday afternoon. Little Dottie. And she is going to be called Dottie, and she is a dot because she's only 4 pounds and a bit.
Mm-hmm.
She was four weeks and 2 days early, born by cesarean section, because for the last almost 4 weeks, Alice's blood pressure has been through the roof, and they finally decided on Tuesday morning that the baby was big enough to be born. So she arrived at 15:36. Her official name is Dorothy Patricia Susan, and their surname is Addison, because obviously he's married to Andrew Addison. So that's my bit of news this week. She's absolutely gorgeous. There's only been one photo posted because Alice was so tired after the event, and yesterday she was so tired she wants to post her own photos before I'm allowed to post all the ones I've got.
God, the daughter's privilege.
Yes, I think she was really tired even yesterday, so we have to let her get on with it, I suppose.
Well, amazing time though, John.
So yes, I'm looking forward now to playing with my granddaughter. I suspect it's a little while away. I was very lucky on Tuesday night. Alice had obviously bought clothes and things, but they were way too big for a baby that weighs 2 kilos, 4 pounds. And so as grandpa, I got sent out to buy some more. And I took them back at 9 o'clock in the evening when everything is quiet, to discover that baby had gone down to the neonatal ward because she was dropping temperature. And just as I was going at 9:30, the nurse brought her back, and I got to sit till 10 o'clock when they kick you out holding the baby. So that made me feel good. And that's when the pictures from when you can see on my thing. And thanks to everybody for their likes, loves, and wonderful congratulatory comments. So let's go to Pete and hear his story now.
Just a moment. Can do that.
Yeah, that's my end. Is that me?
Yeah, let's
Am I
make
back?
Pete big.
Okay. Well, as you know, I had some journey yesterday. I left Aberdeen and I made my way by train to Edinburgh and had a walk about. And I was down filming for before the awards ceremony, so that'll get some publicity. So all the contestants that could have made it, they came down and well, took turns of going in front of a camera. And do you know what they said to me? Well, about me, they said, this guy's a natural. They didn't know I'm on bloody video every week, you know? And so I was the only one to really do it in one take.
Hey, Pete, tell us what the awards are, because not everybody watching will know.
All right, so the awards are for, it's for the Scottish Veterans Award. And basically it's for ex-service people that have came out to an Aid of the Army Benevolent Fund. And it's just an award ceremony for people that have transitioned to civil life. Now, mine was a long time ago that I was a soldier, but it showed inspiration. How have you done inspire? So I'm in for inspiring people with my business after basically losing everything and coming back. And then the second one was my contribution to sport, and it was a long name after it. And it's basically telling my story, how that after my heart bypass, I got back on the bike and built up again. And I now take people out cycling as a runs leader. So to my surprise, I was in for 2 awards. And but you know, I put out a post yesterday. I arrived in Edinburgh and I wear a little badge when I go down there. And it's just a bit of recognition. It's a little wee badge for my regiment. And I went into the Costa Coffee. Some vouchers, by the way, Costa. And anyway, what happened is a woman kept staring, but I had my business there, the business name. She kept staring. And I says, it's okay, I'm only in for a coffee because it's Pest Control. And she kept staring. She says, what's that badge? I says, it's the Royal Scottish Dragoon Guards. And she went, I thought it was, she says, my dad was in the regiment. I said, what's his name? And she told me his name. I says, I actually was in Berlin with your dad, and I've been to your house when you were a little kid. And it was just fantastic to meet somebody in Edinburgh. That's why I always wear a badge, to, if we're possible, to make some conversation. And then I went up to I walked up to the castle, and when I was going up there, I seen them manning the catapults and getting the hot boiling tar out, and I heard them shouting, call out the guard, it's... And anyway, I got in, and you still hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got in, it was amazing amount of people and the connections we had. A big Royal Marine who was injured, and he's with Horseback UK, and he knew my son-in-law because he'd been a Marine, and somebody else knew, and it was fantastic, all these people. And then I got back home in Edinburgh, and then I jumped on the Gold bus, which is £1, and I got home, and I was home about 10:15 at night. A long day, but well worth it. And the amount of publicity I've had. And you know what I also done on the way home? I listened to a webinar on the bus, and I also listened to a guy with a top hat who wasn't wearing it about XR on the bus. Did you know I was listening, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
no, thanks for listening.
I was actually listening to it in the bus, you know. The cowards that didn't turn up, did they?
No.
And then I'll hand back to you, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, Peter.
Okay, why is the Mad Hatter in the room?
To bring some craziness. I would like to say congratulations to you both as well on your news.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's celebrating events of the week.
You're very quiet, Stephen.
I said that at the beginning. Stop. You went quieter now, Stephen.
Right. How's that?
Yeah, you need to come closer.
Or turn the volume up.
The volume's better because you don't want to.
Right. How is that?
You're still very quiet.
Okay. Karen, talking amongst yourselves then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, Fons, over to you because you've got a campaign that's running at the moment.
Yeah.
Could you explain the background to it and bring us up to date?
Yeah. What it's all about is XR. For people who don't know, they allegedly campaign for climate change and trying to climate change awareness in a non-violent, according to their website, a non-violent way. But last week in Cambridge, they've decided to dig up the lawn of Trinity College, take that lawn to a Barclays bank and dump it in Barclays Bank. They've also held up roads which have blocked ambulances getting through and other medical services and everyday people. They've hijacked a garage, a Shell garage, and decided to pour treacle all over it. And some of these things that they do don't make sense because they were digging up Trinity grass and at a lunch break and was eating out of plastic containers. They also have dyed hair, which I thought when you dye your hair, lots of chemicals go down the drain. They poured treacle from a plastic container over the garage and just don't make sense. And they're just really affecting a lot of people's lives, really. This is a picture of one of the ladies who is facing actually in court for her actions for criminal damage. And the main point of it is myself and many other people who have started a group up, we believe in what you're saying. There is concerns of climate change, but there's no need for the violence. And on many occasions, like you were watching last night, I've asked them on. I've got numerous messages asking them, sent them numerous messages asking them to appear, to just maybe they can justify why they're doing these things, and like them to justify it. Yeah. But they failed to turn up on every broadcast, and which is a shame, because it'd be good if you could justify why you're doing it. Because basically, yeah, you're right. There is a concern for climate change, but is there a need for the violence? And it seems to have got out of hand because they've got their people are threatening them, people are threatening the other side. Yesterday, poor disabled, well, she's got disabilities, and she was getting abuse about people wanting to come to her house, and this was over social media. Yeah, and it's not just one side; the other side, people are allegedly threatening XR, telling them they're going to come down here, and we're going to come down. I'm just reading what it says here. We are going to come down here to beat something. I can't say that word out of you lot. We will be armed. So it's ridiculous. And the main thing of it all, climate change isn't getting a look in whatsoever. It's in the news about vandalism, and the people that would support their climate change concerns are upset with them because of what they did, and they can't answer their actions. And I did state on the show I would like the show, which I originally planned it to be long before these actions, which I contacted XR originally, would be a nice, because this platform's brilliant, a nice little platform, each probably once a month or when they're available, to do an hour show talking about climate change, explaining how people can make changes and answering people's questions when they're not, to understand climate change better. But it's gone nowhere. So love to hear your views, what you think.
Oh, now, can I ask, are these XR people, was there a lot of them covering their faces and everything?
No, actually, if I'm to be fair and say what I saw, it seems to be in the news media, Cambridge news media, they were like enjoying posing for photos. Okay. And when cameras were TV cameras were pointed on them, they liked to be seen. in a
Right.
specific
Oh.
way.
Right. Who's getting messages?
Not me. I'm quiet this morning.
Right, okay. Well, this is right. Good. If you're sitting there and you're smiling, digging that hole, that'll help with your prosecution. And you've done great, you've got noticed. But you're away at the jail for 3 years, that's what I would say. And you'll be a martyr. And when you go and get a job, oh, I wanted to be a teacher. Not anymore, you want? You're a criminal. The kids, but it was when I was young. I don't care. You broke the law now. On your way, next. And just line them up, and they can be martyred. Because if we don't stop in this country, everybody now has got a right to block traffic, and there will be anarchy because people will have had enough of it. And no matter what side you're on, people will get injured because people have had enough. You will take the public to just about. Well, that guy jumped on the train. No, he was lucky he didn't get thrown off that train from the top. They've got to stop it. They've got to do it with wills. Hey, listen, the IRA tried it. And what came down in the end? They had to speak about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but they're not thinking of the implications, not only on the public, but themselves. Climbing on that roof. And actually, I got told I was pathetic when I said this, but it's a true fact. It didn't happen, but it's a possibility. Climbing on that garage roof, loads of treacle everywhere, complete health and safety.
Yeah.
Slip, falls off the edge, cracks her head open and dies. Who are they going to blame?
Hey, I like that. I'm Peter, by the way. And yeah, so I'll let these guys have a say if they want to.
Yeah, but
step back from this. Next, can you hear me?
Not very well, Stephen.
Okay, I'm going to refresh. Can we explain who XR are, please? Because we keep saying XR, but that's not their real name, is it?
It's Extinct Rebellion. And they, like I said at the beginning, they allegedly campaign for action against climate change.
Yeah.
And last week's action, actually, a lot of their actions, like going a bit further, what they've done, they've glued themselves to a police van. Yeah. And chemicals had to be removed to get them from that police van. Spray painted buildings.
Yeah, but all of this is just against their own cause. I mean,
exactly.
If you're using spray paint, you've got CFCs to push the paint out of the tin. You're going to ruin the atmosphere.
Exactly. And the other thing they're doing, they go around the city centre, sticking things to perspex glass. Now, speaking to somebody who had to remove one of these people had to remove them, said that it takes environment damaging chemicals to remove it, and if then the perspex glass is damaged, they've got to get new perspex, which is also the way it's constructed damages the environment.
Well, so you should film them doing that.
So I can't see where they're for climate change because they're actually they're causing it.
You see, if they'd glued themselves to the van, they should have bloody driven the van off. Yeah.
Yeah, but who would be to blame? You see, who would they blame? The police for driving off? No, it's not my fault because I stuck my
skateboard under their feet and drive.
Well, the thing is, I think you're going to see a change in the way that Britain is governed by Priti Patel. So while you can, protesters, do what you can because your days are numbered.
Yeah, hopefully.
Are numbered. And we're all for protest. Now, I don't know if you know about this, Fons, but there's a new thing called the Free Speech Union. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, no.
Oh, right, okay.
He gave us this lecture last week, so
all right.
Get my fingers in the ears.
I'm in catch up.
Okay, so but for XR, now, if they were deplatformed somewhere, a university or somebody that opposing them was deplatformed, there's now the Free Speech Union, and it's for people that are getting denied the right to speak. Because the guy that's been helping form it, that was the guy that got involved with hi Karen, he was the guy that was going on about the transgender. Police turned up and says, we're here because of your thoughts. And he went to court. It was £150,000. And the judge turned round and said, is this Germany's Gestapo era? Is this the Stasi? And no. And he won the case. So the Free Speech Union, I mean, Toby Young started it, and he was deplatformed. He lost a lot of work because of it, all because of deplatform, because someone didn't like what they were saying. And Grimsby, it's the Grimsby police that's been caught out big time. Very embarrassing for them. And even policemen have joined the Free Speech Union anonymously because they've had enough themselves. And that's all saying the matter. And they'll take on MD, left, right, centre, who's been deplatformed or lost their job or it, and they're going to, and you pay once a year and they'll go to court with you if you've been done.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know where Stephen's gone.
Fix his sound.
Yeah, no, it's all a shame. It's all a shame because, like Karen just said, the message of climate change has been lost, and it starts to make you think: was the message of climate change there in the first place? Basically, because why would you do the actions that you did?
Yeah.
And create.
Yeah.
Basically, create climate change problems. What you did, but you think, but they held up cars.
Yeah.
And that's cars ticking over, isn't that?
I'll tell you what's interesting. You know, things eventually who maybe not climate, but they just cause trouble.
Yeah.
And so what they done was, I think it was Seattle or someplace like that. They actually banned wearing, in a crowd like that, they actually banned wearing masks and things.
Yeah.
And you could see the police stopping them and saying, if you don't take it off, we'll arrest you because it's now a bylaw. And they try to get them, and they just arrested them. And the problems dipped dramatically. Because why would you go to a climate, why would you go left, right? Why would you go all masked up? Okay, right. Fair enough. You might be in an important job you don't want found out. Just like Professor Eric Clanton, who smashed a guy over the head with a D-lock from his bike. And he got community service for it. And he was a professor. So that's what I would do. I'd say, hey, ban on masks or anything like that. Any protesters, 2 or 3, 4 of a crowd, you'll get booked. End of.
Yeah, but it's not like you're saying that is a valid point. The other thing is, if you're going to do what you've done, you've got to justify why you've done it. And staying silent is basically only proving that you can't justify it. And especially when you're repeatedly asked to, hey, here's your chance. People are saying this about you. Now, they've got a point of what they're saying. Maybe you can tell them why you've done it and explain, so we can put this thing to rest and actually talk about climate change. But denial of it coming out and talking about it or even acknowledging it is not the way, because can they actually give justifications of why they did what they did?
So you asked XR on, and they knew that you were neutral, and they thought, oh, he might ask us some awkward questions here. We're not coming. Is that right?
Yeah, well, that's the way it seems. I've been told they will appear. Somebody said, could they have a test run because they're hard of hearing, which is fair enough. Come. That's fine. That's not a problem. Happy to do that. Then they said, no, I'm not doing it. This person's doing it. This person sent me a message saying, I understand you want an interview. It was on Facebook all day long yesterday, campaigning. I was not happy in respects to that person. Campaigning for XR all over different pages, like join this, do this, we did this, and it was, you know what I mean, within themselves though, not to answering the public answers, but answering their own members.
An echo chamber, that's all that is.
Yeah.
John, what say you?
I think you're giving them too much airtime.
Yeah. But you see what they might come back and they'll say to you, okay, Fons, well, come on.
Yeah.
Here's the questions you've got to ask us, and you've to turn around and say, no, this will be open. I'm not telling you what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, that's how it will be.
And right, I am not staging this for you. It will be open questions. Be prepared. Are you prepared to do that?
And that's how it is. The guy who was on with me last night, he had no idea what was going to be said, no idea, nothing at all. And that's the way it should be. The thing is, they also, because this platform will be live like it is now,
yeah,
anybody who wants to answer a question, they can ask it. Like Karen popped up,
yeah,
that could happen, and they've got to give that answer.
Can I ask a question? Where's Karen from? I haven't seen that name before.
Cambridge. She's actually been on the receiving end of abuse from XR.
Okay, right. So can I ask a question about Cambridge? Out of her whole of Cambridge Live,
Yeah.
I think it's called, what's the consensus?
The what? Sorry.
What is the consensus after what they've done?
Oh, what people think?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's what I know of, over 3,000 people who believe in the climate change, but not what they did. And he's disappeared.
You know, I actually think we've given them enough airtime now, Fons. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I'm afraid you're still very quiet, Stephen. Can hear you, but you're just quiet.
Right. Okay.
I think you should just live with it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sorry?
No, nothing. We can barely hear you. That's the main concern.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some testing afterwards.
We can hear you, but it's
very polite level, i.e. it's quiet. How about the coronavirus as a topic? Because there've been two big events in the coronavirus today. 2 new people in England, one who caught the infection in northern Italy and one from Tenerife. But even bigger is Saudi Arabia have announced that you can't go and worship. They're turning away the worshippers that go over on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Didn't say 3, 2, 1. Yeah, do you know what I've actually worried about it, because when I was away, I've actually bought hand gel and cleaning, because I'm watching. You go to McDonald's. What do you do to get I don't eat McDonald's, huh? But what do? You take your finger and you go like this, right? To order. You take a door handle and you open it. And there was a girl across from me in a train sneezing, and I had hankies. I said, would you like a hanky? You know?
Yes. The word I was desperately seeking was pilgrims are being turned away from Saudi Arabia.
Yes. Well, maybe a good idea. Same as the rugby. Is it the rugby? It's been cancelled.
Yeah. But that's Italy. So
you've got to take precautions. But I don't think, and it's happened, and I don't think any nationalities should be ostracized. I don't know if you know this, Fons, but in Aberdeen many years ago, well, in the 60s, when I was a little kid, Aberdeen actually had typhoid. Was you aware of that?
No.
So Aberdeen had typhoid, and Aberdeen was isolated. And it all came from Argentinian beef, corned beef.
Yeah.
And it came into Aberdeen with some of the tin, and a company called John Lowe's from Dundee brought it in. And after that, they didn't do very well. But Aberdeen was quarantined, and you could see people looking at the hospital, looking in at their kids and everything, you know. And not a lot of people know that. And a friend, an old boss of mine, he went out to do a job out with the city. And the woman, he says, "You're letting us in?" He said, "Oh, in you come." When they come in, she gave him a cup of tea, and immediately they drank it. She smashed him. And
here's a bit of climate change news, and I mean breaking news.
Right, okay.
the government decision to go ahead to Heathrow's airport plans to build a third runway has been ruled unlawful.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm getting fed
on
up.
Climate change basis. What that means, I think we've yet to find out, but it's quite interesting that the climate change campaigners, backed by the Mayor of London, have won their case in the High Courts.
Okay. I'm just getting fed up with this country with these sort of things. Guess what? Take the airport out of London, put it in Scotland, make a mass. Do you know Prestwick's massive? Get a big airport, get an infrastructure that.
What? And then let's have HS2 go all the way to Prestwick, shall we?
Sorry?
I said, we'll have HS2 go all the way to Prestwick, and then you can get to London Central quicker from Prestwick than you can from Heathrow.
You know, every year we've got an international airport in Aberdeen. Did you know that? And every time that an airline says, we're opening a route to here, from here to here, Norwich, and within a year, they shut it because nobody's using it. The oil days are gone. And there should have been an international airport before. We got a great bypass made, but it was 25 years too late. I think what the government has got to do now is start spreading the infrastructure so everybody's getting a turn. So it's just not, you don't want to buy, and they'll say there's no jobs. I says, no, they're up north. They're up north, that's on it.
Well, you can have our infrastructure that's.
Yeah. So why don't you want it?
What is it actually going to give us? It's going to give us another 11 minutes off the time to London. Big whoopee. What's the point?
I'll tell you. You know, I got this free bus in Scotland now. I've got a free bus pass.
Yeah, we know.
Right, but I just want to add to that. Bloody typical. Sorry, I didn't mean to say. But you know what was announced when I was sitting? Scotland, only Scotland, is going to wait to give 19 years old a free bus pass. And I'll tell you what, I better get a bloody seat from Aberdeen to Glasgow. And if all that youngsters took it on, I'll be seeing my MP. Worked all my life to get his ticket and never get a seat.
Can you see any logic behind it, Peter?
I think it's to save the kids money and get them out there and get them moving. I'll be interested to see what they do with it. They'll be saying, oh, there's a concert in Glasgow. Let's get on the gold bus. And we'll all book it, and they'll have rowdy teenagers on the gold bus. And I'll say, where's my seat? And they say, mate, you should have booked up before now. The kids have got it.
Yeah, but the thing is, because that's financial loss, really, if they're giving it to them free, how will that financial loss?
Well, this is what everybody's saying, phones. So we've got free prescriptions, we've got free this, we've got free that, we've got free that, we've got free this, we've got.
Can I move that?
How are we paying for this? Right?
You're not, we are.
No, that's what I'm saying. How are we paying for this? No, they said it's within the money they've been given. Somebody has got to pay for it. And this is their way of saying, look what we've done. And then when they get their independence one day, they might say, no, you'll pay the price. But it won't be happening.
But the thing is, I find if you give people, fair enough, it's to save them a bit of money to like further their education, to get into better positions and stuff. But there is going to be a percentage who are going to take it, like you were saying, about going to a gig, using their extra money. Hey, I didn't have to pay the bus fare for the last month. I've got this X amount of money. I'm going to go and watch this live gig and all that, and just basically live thinking, hey, everything's free. And it's not actually going to, some people, it's not going to help. It's actually going to make them think everything's handed on a plate, really. Yeah.
What about you guys? What do you think?
Well, what all governments do is to rob Peter to pay Paul until Peter realises he's actually been robbed. And basically, there's only so much money to go around, and they just move it around, as Peter said, to actually make people happy so that when it comes to time to vote, they get voted in.
Yeah. This free bus pass, by the way, its objective is to cut on climate change and stop the rush. Stop the rush to get your first car. and to encourage them to use the bus.
That's actually a good point in that respect. But you've got to looking at the four corners of it. How will it affect? But it is a good point.
That is the stated objective by the Scottish government.
Right. Can you hear me?
You're still a little mouth, I'm afraid.
All right. Okay. Never mind. Hopefully Peter will be back in a minute. Yeah. I can't do anything until after the.
Oh, I can see your mouse.
I just adjusted the back because I moved it forward, but then realised moved it down.
I'm going to disappear for a second.
Good morning. How are we? I can't hear a damn thing.
We can hear you.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone. I think he didn't think we could hear. Didn't know if he couldn't hear us, so it'd be a one-sided conversation that he couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could hear you before. We don't know why you went.
Oh, I'm getting sick of it. I need to speak to help me get a new computer, John. I'm sick of it. Right, so that's a climate change. That's the free bus, which I find very good. What I would do with the teenagers, I say you're getting a free bus, but you're not getting long distance travel with it. It's for local routes.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Could it be like a position like when young people around where I am, they get a free bus into college, and it's basically a bus pass for any bus, I do believe, but it's between set times. So it's like it's only in the times when they need to get there and get back. And even if it's a school, I think if it's a college holiday, they can still use it. So it gives them an opportunity to go in and do other things. So I think limiting it is still achieving its objective. But
how's the thing? Fons, if you lived in Scotland, you were 16, 17, John.
Yeah.
And they said to you, would you like a free bus pass? What would you say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Use it for 16, 17 and 18-year-olds. It stops on your 19th birthday.
Yeah. How's the other question? Now, would you like to keep this bus pass? Yes. You know who to vote for next time then, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And you can convert it into a 1/3 discount when you hit 19.
Well, we better let him in. Where's his mask?
It's that Stephen Silk bloke. Congratulations. He's the third story of the week, or his was the first story of the week.
Yeah.
Yes,
congratulations.
I have a plutonium ring.
Plutonium. Oh.
Plutonium.
Been a busy week. It's been a very busy week for you guys.
Yes.
Something rude there.
So we've had a wedding, a birth, and the keys are getting an award. Did you see
congratulations, Peter. And we have an opportunity tomorrow actually to go to Venice, which is really quite wonderful, isn't it? Because not a lot going on there at the moment, but we'll find out how clever our government are in their travel warnings, and the fact that there isn't one at the moment for Venice when we get there tomorrow. But the most exciting news, I think, is that next week, this time next week, I'll be on Blabbing for Britain from the centre of St Mark's Square in Venice, and then you'll all be able to see how wonderfully we've survived the. Am I still on, by the way? So I can't see anything.
It's just you.
We'll be able to show you how wonderfully successful the honeymoon's been. And is anybody there?
Yeah, we're all here. You were gone big. That's probably why you couldn't see us.
I don't think you can see us at all now.
Hello.
Yeah, Pete.
We're all listening to you.
Oh, well. let's hope that Venice is somewhat better.
Yes, but that's better than my broadcast from Cornwall.
And that's the problem sometimes with the mobile app. You can't see who you're talking to. They disappear. And the guy who was talking to me last night, he couldn't even see me, but he could hear me, luckily. So it's just work in progress, I think, something like that. As technology changes, it will rectify itself. Floods. I was going to ask, has anybody got snow?
No.
I have. I'm looking at my office window, a load of trees covered in snow.
All we got was rain all night.
Yeah, no, it started snowing about 7 o'clock this morning.
The sun's shining now.
You're lucky. I might go out and make a snowman later. I don't know. I got my grandson round at the weekend. So.
You could make the snowman, and then you could interview the snowman.
I could do, yeah, and ask him what he thinks.
Climate change. He drips away.
Right. Okay.
Why he's melting? What do you think of climate change?
I've been to March. I went to collect an award in March. At March in Cambridgeshire.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
Many years ago.
What do you think of it?
I didn't see much of it. I turned up and then went into a hotel and left the hotel and come back.
Yeah.
But I was in March. I've been there. I didn't march there. I took a train.
The best
So
one.
Here's a question. Shropshire, the floods. Should Britain really get our house in order before we start giving overseas aid?
Oh, he's gone. But I do agree with him. I think money should be spent at home first. But they say we foster good relationships by giving money. But we gave a huge amount to India, but they could afford to send a rocket up, and satellite. And I think that we've perhaps got to the point where we need to be a bit more choosy in just where we send the money.
There's no, there's nothing against helping people, but like you're saying, it's to the extreme now, isn't it, really?
Is Karen Peacock in the future?
Yeah.
How's the way I would do it?
Yeah, is Karen Peacock in the future? She says it's snowing here in March. And it's
She's from March. There you go.
Right, pretend I'm Boris Johnson, and I'll say, this would be me, I would say. Right. I'll keep me here as it is, and I would say this. Britain is a great country who likes to help other countries. So what we need to do is we have to get our own house in order with flooding, everything like that, our infrastructure, our trains, our welfare, getting people off the streets. So therefore, I'm taking, for a couple of years, we're going to take the money we invested in overseas aids and I'm going to put it back into our country. However, if you feel charitable enough, we're going to give you links to companies that maybe give water, who do this and they do that. You can then decide how much you want to give those charities. But we can't have people sleeping on the streets when there are people building rockets wanting to go to the moon. That's, it's crazy,
Yeah. You have to prioritize which is most important. And like you're saying, helping countries that are sending a rocket to the moon, should be at the bottom of the list. Why there's somebody laying in the street freezing to death?
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter who it is. And there's I've looked at some of the things, and some of the money that goes abroad goes missing. Were you aware of that?
No, but you can imagine so, yeah.
I'll give you an example of just a club in Aberdeen. A friend was saying he went out and they were actually funding an orphanage, okay? And they said, we're coming over to meet the kids. And they said, oh, fantastic. And they went out, and when they got there, the kids all looked clean and happy. They brand new toys, and they're all playing with them. And everybody went back apart from one. The president of the club, he says, I'm going to stay back for a couple of days. And he went to visit the orphanage about maybe 2 days later to see them. Every toy was gone. And they stopped their funding. It was a show day for them, and they still, and that's what happened, and it's a damn disgrace.
Sadly, that's what does happen. You can put on a front to make people believe something, but you have to dig deeper to see if that's really what is happening.
Yeah. So there's a lot of it goes on.
Karen is right, by the way. We gave money to India in the year 2018, 2019, because it's a fiscal year, not an annual year or whatever you say. But we haven't given them any money since.
She's saying, Karen, you're saying it's £700 in every million. Okay. So what's the total? I mean, if people want to donate themselves, that's fine. But let's have a great country that it's not compulsory.
Yeah.
Give to the charity you want to help.
I believe though.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's the corruption that goes out there, and there's a lot of money going missing. You know, there's a couple of guys over in America. They're trying to find out where the money is. You know.
No, I strongly believe that. Yeah, give help to those, you know what I mean, who need it, and give that. The thing is, you need to prioritize who gets it first and who's more needed. It's a bit like housing, really. With people, they asked you to give your reasons why, and then they prioritize who should get the house first. This people, because they've got a family of 5 people and nowhere to live and such. And it should be the same with money, really, shouldn't it? It should be who's got the most reasons gets it first.
Right. How much is based on law? We signed up and then put it into our own law that as part of the UN that we would give 0.7%.
Yes.
Yeah, of GDP as an international aid. That last time round was 13.4 billion, and is projected next year, that's 2021, to be 14.5 billion.
Now, what I would like to know is everybody gave their percentages said they were going to do, just like NATO, where they didn't. And Mr. Trump had to go in and remind them. And you know what the Trump said? Nobody asked us that before.
There are only 4 more generous countries than the UK.
Right.
And they are Sweden, Luxembourg, Norway, and Denmark. Yeah. Other countries give less, basically. And the US only give 0.18%.
Well,
around 0.7.
I think Boris Johnson needs to look at it and say, I'm sorry, we need to look at this again. We've got people getting flooded out. We've got people living in the streets. We've got people going to the food banks. We'll have to.
He's frozen.
He's got. Oh, it's back.
Yeah.
It's only pressed the pause button.
Yeah. I'm having great difficulties with this. But no, I think you've got to look at it again, folks, and be realistic. You know.
Yeah. You can't help one and watch the other suffer, really. You've got to set the priorities of who's more deserving. And if it's your country, then your country should come first. Not saying you should forget anybody else.
No.
But how can you help others if you can't help yourself?
That's right. We should have a full economy of people working and helping those that can't work because of disabilities and things, and you've got to give them a decent living standard. I'm saying this in case anything happens to me, of course, but give them a decent standard to live on, but don't take the PISS.
Certainly, yeah.
Stephen.
It is pointed out, by the way, that Bill Gates, over the last 10 years, has given more than the UK. Just to put it into a little bit of context.
Yeah. And that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
Stephen, take over your show again.
Staying with money, there appears to be a rise in buy now, pay later. And it's growing fast. One of the companies actually doubled their turnover last year. Now, as far as I'm aware, buy now and pay later has been with us forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Bought my first furniture on a buy now and pay later at 0%. Yeah.
that's right. We had to finish
And
that in the suite and dining room furniture and stuff. Same as you, John.
Yeah.
When I started
Well,
my first house.
do you remember the Provi check?
Oh, Provident, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember that, and he was not up in my area. He was called the Tick Man.
Yeah. What, the clock on the mantelpiece?
Oh, what was that one?
I think that was connected with Provident.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
The
Well-
Provi check.
Well, what is explain? Because I'm a bit of a younger. That's what is a Provi check?
It was the early days of credit, and
Yeah.
a lot of people couldn't afford it, so they went to the Provident, and it was a big APR. It was a massive APR, and when I was a milkman, I would collect my money on a Thursday, and the Provi check man would collect his money on a Friday. So I would go in, and I know where they hid their money for me, and he would know where they hid their money for them, and it was their way of getting credit. And it's similar to is it Bright House that we've got now, and it's absolutely extortionate, and you've got to pay it back quick. But it was going there. It was the Tick Man, and you used to see the Tick Man going into a house, and the other ladies would say, he's been in there a long time. She's probably short the money this week.
Is there another way I can pay?
Yeah. How old are you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
40.
40. When I was a milkman, no, is it milkman? No. When I was pest control in the early days, I got called out to a house of ill repute. And I went in, and the ladies of the night gave me a cup of tea and everything, and I put down my stuff. And then they said to me, and they looked at each other, and they said, how would you like paid? You're looking at a man who went into a brothel, the only man in Aberdeen to go to a brothel and come out with cash. True story, by the way. True story.
Now, going back to the international aid, did you know that the Spice Girls got international aid?
What for?
Well, we're actually talking about the Ethiopian Spice Girls, not the pop group.
Yeah. You'd be surprised the things they get money for. But again, they've got to spend it. I would rather give more money to a better cause than a stupid cause, you know? Anyway,
The Spice Girls thing was about getting people to create their own funding through getting businesses started.
Yeah.
There is a thing, isn't there? I've seen it, I think on TV in a commercial, where you give somebody in a country who's struggling £5 or something to help them start their own little business, and then at the end they pay you back, or you can give it to somebody else.
Yeah, that's right.
The system works extremely well, and it is a bit of a fudge, because what happens is that the people are loaned the money by agencies. The agency pay the money, and then when you actually put your money in, it goes to the agency, not to the the company.
Okay.
And it's fine and good, providing that the people who've been loaned the money pay it back.
Yes.
It doesn't always happen. I mean, if you've got 50 people putting in $25, that's $1,250. Farmer can buy and plant his crops, but if his crops don't come in, then he can't repay.
No.
There's a risk to it, is all I'm saying.
Of course there's a risk to it. I mean, then somebody might buy a cow and interbreed them and whatever and sell their cows and make money. Or milk. Yeah. It's a hard. But no, all I'm saying is I think they need to look at these things and readjust them, and because the British public are really cheesed off with stupid things that their money goes to. And it's not being selfish. It's just getting it right.
Have you heard the latest about Apple?
No, John.
But you tell us.
They've been doing product placement like all the other big major companies do. But someone called Rian Johnson, who's produced films like The Last Jedi, has revealed that there are some strict rules. And one of the rules is the baddie can't have an iPhone.
Can't be seen as...
iPhones are reserved for the good people and not the baddie.
We've always known that, John. We've always known that.
The thing is, in the real world, anybody can have an
Who's
iPhone.
got an iPhone? I haven't.
I have. I must be a good guy.
Well, I'm a really bad guy because I've got a Huawei.
A Huawei, ooh.
It's the bloody best phone there is.
Oh no, they are good actually. I've had a Huawei.
Right.
I remember the days of the brick.
Report from the National Trust today that as a country we are missing out on our daily dose of nature. We should be going out to not necessarily National Trust properties, but we should just be going out in the garden or in the local park and enjoying nature, and we're not doing it as much as we used to.
No.
Totally agree with that.
Well, I'll tell you why I don't do it up here. It's bloody freezing. Sorry, freezing.
Hey.
Yeah, I've noticed you haven't been for any walks lately.
Just the weather and the coldness, and it's really, I mean, I walk out and I go back in and put on long johns. Yeah. And we've got 2 dogs now because we have to take a puppy and she doesn't go out far, you know. So you're holding 2 reins.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to get out of nature. It's actually quite, from a mental perspective, it's quite therapeutic, really, isn't it? It's like seeing the wonderful things of nature and things around you.
Well, my allotments is how I get close to nature because that really is quiet, and we see herons, little egrets, birds you wouldn't see.
What kind of things do you grow on your allotment?
Flowers,
Flowers.
dahlias. I mean, they grow veg as well, don't get me wrong. But in the main, I grow dahlias and chrysanthemums. Yeah,
I'm the only guy who had a vegetable garden at the bottom of his garden with my kids because they wanted it and killed everything. Nothing ever grew. So I don't know what I was doing wrong. But my kids think that I'm a danger around plant life.
Have we seen the uproar about apps to save, to monitor young drivers?
I know about them.
Yeah, well, a young lady had her insurance withdrawn and she was accused of speeding at 100 miles an hour.
Right.
She was actually on the train.
It was on her phone.
Yeah, the app's on your phone.
But
no, she got the app running because the idea is it's supposed to run 24 hours a day, and she was on the train. And,
I've done exactly the same with an app from the steps, and I said I didn't do that. I didn't realise I was sitting in the bus.
So when she's walking, does she get done for curb crawling?
No, I think it's more accuracy in it. It's one particular company that's coming in for all the criticism.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, right. I know that young people. My son, he's a new driver. He's got seems to want to be doing it with everybody. A black box which monitors their driving for the insurance company, and yet they have it so long. I think I'm not sure if
it's the same principle, but it uses your phone.
Yeah.
The trouble it works when you're not in the car. Of course, you can fit your black box, and then you can buy a little device that plugs into what used to be the cigarette lighter, but now is the 12-volt supply that stops the signal reaching the insurance company.
Really? I ain't going to tell him that. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But maybe
on eBay and on Amazon.
Really? But the app's a good idea, but it doesn't know the difference between a train and a car, which is
I have accepted the app has faults.
Yeah,
well, that's 11 o'clock, gentlemen.
It is. Over to John.
we going already? God, blimey, that day went quick. That hour went quick. Yep. So, what can I say other than it's goodbye from our Stoke representative who only popped in for a couple of minutes, who's off to Venice for his honeymoon tomorrow. And goodbye from the Mad Hatter who's popped in from Cambridge. Goodbye from the award-winning or the nearly award-winning Peter. But look for that photo with him holding the shield. Yeah, it's the young lady you want to look at, not Peter. And it's goodbye from our close to Stonehenge representative, who was very, very quiet today.
Indeed.
So he's off to check out his microphone after we've finished this. So goodbye from us all.
Bye.